Interstate 277, also known as John Belk Freeway, is a 6-mile stretch of highway wrapping around uptown Charlotte. And depending on your perspective, you might love it or hate it. But a top read article in Charlotte magazine calls it a, quote, traffic choked relic of outdated transportation planning. And joining us now, the author of that article, Eli Portillo. He is the director of research engagement at UNC Charlotte's Urban Institute. Good morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Yes, we're happy to have you. We want to talk a little bit about your article, Cry Us a River, the calamity of I-277 in Charlotte and how we could undo it. So from an equity lens, why is Interstate 277 one of the worst mistakes in Charlotte history?
Well, 277 and the urban freeways that are connected to it began in an era that was dominated by what's known as urban renewal. And this is when the federal government worked with city governments throughout the U.S. to demolish what were then called slums. In effect, this meant often black neighborhoods. And in Charlotte, we saw a lot of demolitions of communities like Brooklyn and the areas around that had been black communities for a long time. Part of the reason why these were demolished was to reclaim the land, but another reason was to provide more transportation alternatives. There was a thought at the time that downtowns were suffering because there wasn't a good way to get to them. So planners really wanted to tear down what they considered blighted slum areas and build new roads, highways, ways for suburbanites who were generally white to get in and out of downtown quickly.
And in that process, 277 divided a lot of neighborhoods, like you said. So what are some of the impacts of that divide that we see today?
Well, right now we still see, of course, the physical divide. 277 has been described as a moat, a noose around uptown, a canyon of cars and traffic. So if you live just over the 277 loop in, say, Biddleville or Seversville, just west of Uptown, it really functions as a sort of keep out sign. Same for the neighborhoods to the north, where that divided area just really separates Uptown. So there's that physical separation aspect. The center of Charlotte, the business center of Charlotte, was physically cut off from the black neighborhoods around Uptown that remained after the demolition. And there's also an economic development impact. 277 eats up a lot of land, and it prevents a lot of growth. And if you look at the divide between South End and Uptown, that really should be a continuous area, but they're developing as two separate skylines. And that's a problem for the city's economic development and long-term growth as well.
Yeah, good point there, Eli. So some people might be watching and saying, okay, 277 is already done. So what are some realistic alternatives?
So it's hard to imagine this road that carries, about 100,000 cars a day on sections going away. But 277 is actually really young. It wasn't here for a long time. It was only completed and called 277 in 1989. So for a long time, we functioned without all of it. And some communities in other cities are getting rid of their inner loops. These are ubiquitous throughout the US, but say in Syracuse and Rochester, New York, they're actually tearing down their inner city expressways and replacing them with normal roads, boulevards with street lights, and they're reconnecting their communities that way. So this is something that other communities are doing. It's very ambitious to think about, but if that's a little too intimidating, there are also alternatives that don't require quite as much money, time, and effort. We could build a lot more bridges to reconnect neighborhoods over there. We could reshape some of the interchanges, which we already did around South Boulevard, and created the land that was then turned into Whole Foods and apartments. We could do that for some of these other really big cloverleaf suburban style interchanges. And we could also just improve the aesthetics of the crossing. That would really help reconnect these neighborhoods and undo some of that psychological separation that this canyon of cars creates.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Eli. My last question, is there anything that citizens can do to express their opinions about 277?
Well, other than just putting a get rid of 277 sign on your windshield, which I'm considering after reporting this article, you can get involved in local government. The city's transportation and transit committee They are involved here. The North Carolina Department of Transportation, of course, is involved in just attending some of these government meetings, learning how this works, and making your voice heard to elected officials is probably the best way here. Although bumper sticker and windshield sticker also possibilities.